Hey guys, I'm finally back. It feels like it's been a long time. Doesn't matter. We're building a treehouse. Okay? Alright. So, here's the thing. I seen another YouTuber, Dodgy Dioramas. I seen him build like this super creepy treehouse, right? Like back a while ago. And it was very inspiring. And I was like, I want to build a treehouse. Not necessarily a creepy treehouse, but I wanted to build a treehouse. Because who doesn't want to build a treehouse, right? So I decided to make the tree out of foam. Because, let's face it, I have a lot of foam. And that's pretty much what I had on hand. So I made the tree out of foam. I did a lot of carving, as you can see. Kind of skipped over that part. But it was boring to watch anyways. Carve. Got a trunk of a tree. Now I'm kind of just trying to, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm trying to figure out how this is all going to work. I found a digital image of a treehouse on Google that I really liked, and I decided that I was just going to go for it. So, yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. I got my Amazon Prime cardboard box. Right? And I cut a bunch of pieces out of it. And here I'm doing some trim for windows. So that's nice. Yeah, I'm just using balsa wood and some super glue there. Yep. Got those cut in. I find that you do all of your window cutting and your framing and all that stuff first before you put the whole thing together. And trust me, you just save yourself so much time and anger. Anger can be a problem. So here we are, back to our foam tree. Honestly, if I had to build a tree again, I mean, it doesn't look too bad there. It's a bit stiff, but I mean, it is foam. So I decided that I wanted the tree to go like through the house. You know, one branch is off to the side while the other one kind of goes through the house. And like you built the house around the tree, right? So that's initially what my plan was. Like I said, looking at a Google image, and I didn't even measure anything out. I just literally just started cutting. So yeah, that's where we're at. Now we're gonna cover our foam tree that's now been sanded, and we're gonna cover it in plaster of Paris. Some plaster of Paris, a little bit of water, lots of paint. Should have done more paint, and I'll show you why later, but doesn't matter. Paint, dirt. Yeah, we got a good old Montana dirt. Got to have some texture for some bark. So now we're gonna cover all of our tree in this plaster. So yeah, I decided to cut it up into different chunks so that it would be easier to like build this house around it. It turned out that none of this was easy. It was very, very difficult, and getting the right angles. Yeah, I don't know that I'm going to do it again anytime, if ever. Yeah, so that's where we're at. Okay, covered in plaster. We're moving on. We're going to do some window stuff. We're going to, look at me, how smart I am. All right, so I got like the size. I cut all my windows the same size. Trust me, save yourself time and energy. Always cut your windows the same size. Some big windows, some little windows, whatever. You know, just keep a general size the same. Because then, you know, you can cut windows like I just did, like a total pro. And so now I'm adding super glue because I'm going to stick my little plastic totally perfectly rectangle squares. I mean rectangles, because rectangles can't be squares. And I'm going to stick, and then I'm going to, yep, moving right along. Okay, so I'm doing an internal and an external. So I'm putting trim on my inside window, okay? And yeah, so I'm going to trim that out, get rid of all those perfect cut lines. Yep. Now we are going to use some super thin polystyrene insulation foam. Yep. I've got a foam cutter. It's about the only cool thing I actually have besides a new computer because my computer broke. But that's a whole nother story. So I got a really cool foam cutter, and you can cut it really, really thin, and it's really, really cool because then you can use it to texture things, and it doesn't really take up much space. It's amazing. So yeah, I just, I put that foam on all of my internal walls, and I'm going to try and create like an old school wall paneling look to the inside of my treehouse. It's like old school wall paneling. Why? Because It's like the easiest thing you can do. So I'm lazy. And so I'm using a razor knife here to get my straight lines in for each of my little wall panels. Then I'm going back over with pencil. Yeah, and I'm just making those lines more prominent. That's a great word. Yep, now I'm going to scratchy all of them. Give them some texture. Yeah, scratchy all that foam. And I basically go through the entire house and do it. Yep, see, look, I did it all. All of it. Now I'm pointing to the outside of the window. I'm trying to tell you that I'm going to do the outside trim now. Gosh, my hat is dirty. Wow. Yeah, so, yeah, I just come straight home from work and I just start crafting. I don't change. I work at a cabinet shop. It's filthy, it's dirty, it's dusty, and I don't care. No. So when I come home, just straight to crafting. I mean, who cares? Nobody's going to see me. I mean, besides you guys occasionally. Anyway, so look, we're all done. We got all of our window trim built on the inside and the outside. Now it's time to paint. And we're going to use my favorite color, brown, made with a little burnt sienna, little black, little white to lighten it up, you know. And we're just going to go and use that tiny brush to get all the details. So I totally screwed up, though, if you can see. See, anybody see it? The window? Yeah. I forgot to paint the inside of my window frames before I glued it together. So if you're on the inside of the treehouse looking out, all you see is raw wood. Not that anybody's going to be in there, but it still bugged me. So I ended up painting the plastic so you couldn't see it. Yep, I did. All right, now we're working on floors. Same thing with the floors. You're just, you know, with the balsa wood, you don't need to use a razor knife. You can just use a pencil. Sharp pencil. Sharp number 2 Ticonderoga. I don't know how to pronounce that. It's hang on, I'll tell you. Hang on. Nope, never mind. Can't find a pencil. I have no idea what it's called. Starts with a T. But anyways, that's what I'm using. Now I'm scratching. Now I'm scratching some more with a wire brushy thingy. Lots of texture. Now we're going to use watered down acrylic. That's it. It's like a wash. It's a watered down acrylic wash. And I use that anytime I am building with raw balsa because it just looks cool. It looks more real. If you just paint it like a solid color, then it's boring. See all those colors coming up from underneath? Yep. Now we're doing some dry brushing. Yeah, multiple colors. Lots of burnt sienna in there. A little bit of white, a little bit of black. Sometimes I do multiple layers of dry brushing, but I think this time I just basically did the one. Yep, just kind of the one. Here we're doing like a light gray over our balsa wood floors. Just kind of gives it this aged look, especially over the wash, you know. Of course, you want to make sure and let your wash dry. Otherwise, you'll just mess everything up, okay? So, yeah, now we're gluing our walls down. See, look at the edges of my cardboard. Like, I beveled those edges. Beveled. That's how professional I am now. I bevel edges. It's like a seamless fit. Yeah. So, that's what I did. And so, yeah, now I'm just going to glue everything together. I'm using hot glue because I'm impatient. And that's okay. And look at that octagon shape. Looks great. It is an octagon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it's totally an octagon. See? Look how seamless that is. It just fits together perfectly. I tell you what, anytime you got a weird shape that you're constructing, bevel, okay? It's all you got to know. Bevel, okay? And I'm sure there's some science to it, but I don't know. I just use a razor and I cut and it works. Okay? So do that. Now, we're working on the bottom skeletal shape of my first floor porch. Okay? So this is the first floor porch. And this is the bottom. Don't know why it's so important that it be perfect, but it is. Okay? I mean, if you get down real low and look up, you might see the bottom, right? So it should look nice. You know, it looks sturdy. I wanted it to look sturdy, okay? So same deal here. You know, draw your perfectly straight lines And then texture, wire brushy, water down wash, and perfect, fantastic. Yep. I did paint the bottom too. I didn't show you that part because it was boring. So, oh, we're making our third floor now. Okay, so our third floor is it's a boring old rectangle, but it's okay. It's all right. Rectangles can be fun too. Okay, so we also made like another porch. It's not a porch. What's it called? A patio? No, that's rocks in the ground. I don't know. It's another porch. It's a porch that goes up on the third floor, rectangle floor. Yeah. So here, this is our first floor mudroom or entryway. It could be a mudroom. I mean, you know, totally. So we're adding some texture in the shape of foam wood. Yep. And then that's corrugated cardboard. That's hard to say. Sorry. Corrugated cardboard. And so we're using the foam to create this wood texture on the back. Yep. And scratchy that stuff up too. Yep. Do some scratchy, some textures. And then we're using the corrugated cardboard for the I don't really know what the sheeting, the metal sheeting. It's like it's a sheeting. It's meant to be like it's metal sheeting. Okay, that's what we're gonna call it. So we do kind of a nice little mix of everything. All right, now we're moving on to our octagonal second floor. We just wrap that thin foam around to create kind of like a trim piece to our second floor. And now you see I got all my pieces laid out. That's so I could look more professional. Yeah. So, this part could go nice and smooth. Sometimes I feel like my videos might be just a touch too hectic, a little bit all over the place. I mean, I try. So this is me trying. Yay, me. Okay, adding some texture to our wood foam texturing that stuff up. Oh, we're even ripping some holes with some tweezers. It's all about the details. Okay, so yeah, looks great. Fantastic. There's first floor, second floor is done. Oh, we are also going to work on the bottom skeletal base structure of our second octagonal floor. Yeah, we're gonna put a bunch of beams on there to make it look cool, and then we're gonna cut a giant hole in it because we gotta have a way to get from the first floor to the second floor, right? Yeah. So here we have the part of the tree that goes through the octagonal second floor. Okay. I decided 2 birds, 1 stone. I was gonna turn it into a spiral staircase. Why not? I think it would be cool. So I stabbed it with toothpicks, and then I went back through with some little tiny chunks of wood and balanced and glued them on said toothpicks. I added a lot more glue later just so it wouldn't fall apart. And look at that beautiful spiral staircase. Yeah, so now I got to cut a hole in the third floor to make sure that it'll pop through. Yep, see? Just willy-nilly there. Sand it a little bit. Look professional. Looking great. Okay, now we're building a staircase for the mudroom. Okay, the first floor. You can call it mudroom. I don't care. It's the first floor to the second floor. Really nothing special about the staircase. It's just a double staircase, where you got like one little bit where you lead up and then you got a base and then you lead up again. I build these kinds of staircases in Minecraft all the time. Yes, I play Minecraft frequently with my children. We bond over Minecraft. Okay? Yeah, you should try it sometime. Anyways, great set of stairs. Look how gorgeous they look. Fantastic. Okay, now we're going to paint. So now that all of our plaster of Paris has dried, we're going to go back over and we're going to repaint everything. I mean, There was a part of me that thought when I put all the paint and the plaster of Paris that it might stay brown, but that was kind of dumb, you know, because when it dried with all the white, it just turned into a brown gray. So we got to repaint everything, which I knew we would have to, right? But I just thought, anyways, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Now we're dry brushing. Yes. Well, that's not really dry brushing. That's wet brushing. Wet brush, now dry brush. Yes. Dry brush. Pull out all that nice texture that we got from our Montana dirt and the plaster. And now we're going to dry brush them stairs. No, these ones we're going to paint. These ones we are full-blown painting. I worked so hard on that spiral staircase, I wanted it to pop. Okay? Now we're going to make a door for the mudroom. Okay, the first floor. Whatever. We're making a door. And I used some sticky tape. And I put that down and I kind of like drew a door on there, and then I kind of like stuck all the wood on there, and then I glued it and then sprayed it, and then I cut it off. And it was great. It was perfect. But it was my second attempt. I'm not going to lie. The first one didn't go so well. So then we painted it. We painted other stuff too, apparently. So now we're gonna paint everything. All right? And that's not black. Okay? That's brown, because I like brown. It's a dark, warm brown. Okay, I didn't want my treehouse to be creepy. I wanted it to be warm and inviting. So I didn't use just cold colors as a base. I used a lot of burnt sienna in pretty much everything, which created a nice, warm, dark brown. Yep. See? Who knew you were going to learn about colors and temperatures of colors? It's important. Yep. So painted that whole thing up. Looks great. Look at that boring rectangle. We painted that too. Yep. Beautiful. Looks great. Now we're going to do some dry brushing. You really got to wait for everything to dry though. I mean, I don't say that, but it should be obvious. I'm just letting you know. So we do kind of the same that we did on the inside. You know, maybe a little bit lighter on the outside. And I added some yellow ochre to that window trim, just because I wanted it to pop. Now we're doing our metal sheets. They're metal sheets. Yep, that's what we're painting those green. While we're painting, sorry guys, I'm trying to go as fast as the video, and then I'm just failing. So the first layer is kind of a darker green, like an emerald green. And then as I go, I add a little bit of a lighter color, and you'll see here in a minute. See, here's a little bit of a lighter color. I add a little bit, but I don't add quite as much, just a little bit less, And I think I did a few different shades of the green and the turquoise until, you just keep layering it. You just layer it till you're happy. And then I came back with my favorite color ever, rust. I came back with rust. Since there's metal sheets, whatever. Came back with rust, and I just kind of added it to places where there might be some moisture buildup, around the windows, at the tops and the bottoms. To me, that seems like, a place where you would organically find rust. Okay? So, yeah, I did that on everything. On the first floor, my second floor octagon, and my third floor rectangle. Yep, see? And I love it. I think it turned out really good. It looks really cool. Okay, so now we're working on the interior. So we're gluing our steps in. Ooh, and we're even going to start gluing stuff to the tree. Oh my gosh, I dry fit that so many times. Oh, there's the devil lights. Oh, they're evil. They were very, very hard. They were hard. I should have done this more mathematically, where I knew exactly how measured the length of said lights to figure out exactly how many lights I should have on each floor, because as you'll see, well, I just went with the flow and flew by the seat of my pants like I usually do, and I kind of had a mess later on, but you'll see. So I'm just kind of making room for my light to sit, my cord to sit on the bottom of the tree so that it's there when I attach to the base. And now I'm going to start wrapping said lights around the top of each of my floors, starting with the mudroom. I also poked a hole in the front there so that I could shove a few of those lights out so it would create, you know, an outdoor lighting scenario. See, now we're gluing on the second floor, and continue wrapping. We had to put our spiral staircase in there because I needed to know where not to glue. So that's what we did. And you just keep, tiny things. I made tiny things. If you're going to have lights on the inside of the treehouse, you got to have something in there to look at, right? Yeah, you do. So we got a dresser and 2 end tables and a bed and a sink with an oven, maybe? I don't know. Could be an oven. There's a sink, though. So there's that. Now we're going to glue everything together, and you're never going to see it again. See how I wrapped the lights around the tree trunk? I mean, if I lived in a house that was part tree, I would do that because it's inviting. It's very nice and warm. Oh, look. See, I made a table and chairs, too. See my table and chairs? Yep, made that, too. Okay, so I don't know what this is. It's like the pop-out window that's on the roof. I don't know what they're called. What are they called? I'm going to call it a pop-out window. Yep, pop-out window, and it just pops out of the roof. It looks cool. Yeah, whimsical, maybe. I don't know if it's whimsical. Whatever. But so I had to cut a hole in the roof so that when I glued that on, you could see lights through the window. You know, I could have just glued that on there, but then that window would have been dark while the other windows would have been lit. Don't make no sense. See? Yep. See, I'm even putting the roof on. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, look. Sorry. The lights. I had so much light left over that I had a hard time figuring out where to put it. Oh, it's a mess. It's okay. It's fine. Nobody will ever know. So now I taped the roof, the seams. Nobody's ever going to see that either because I'm going to cover it in metal sheeting, a.k.a. corrugated cardboard. So we're putting all of our little roofs on. Roofs. Is it roofs or is it roofs, like a plural? That's a very good question. Oh, look, it looks great. Okay, now we're going to paint. We want a good base paint before we start laying down our... Oh, we're going to skip over to the doors. Yeah, we're going to glue them doors in. See, there's the mudroom door. And see, look, there's the patio door. Not a patio. Porch. Third, whatever. Okay, roof time. Metal sheeting time. That's what we're doing now. Corrugated cardboard. We're going to stop in the middle of doing that, and we're going to put our light fixtures on because that makes sense. Yeah, now we're going to go back to the roofing. I told you I get distracted, okay? You just got to go with the flow. Oh, we're going to stick our antler on. I mean, our tree. I'm sorry. It looks like an antler. I should have named this the Antler Treehouse. Oh, I'm crying. Oh, look, there's the straw. I covered it in clay, and now I'm painting it so I can blend it into the tree, and nobody will ever know it's there. Now we're putting these things on. I don't know what they are. They're braces. Yeah, we're going to call them. Today we're going to call these braces. Tomorrow, who knows? We might call them something else. But today they're braces, and they brace the house into the tree. Okay, now we're putting our second porch on the 3rd floor. And of course, some more bracing to hold that porch in place. I mean, look how inviting that is. It looks very nice. All right, so this is a platform for the porch. So the porch is going to have 2 sets of staircases. One of them is just going to be a regular staircase, and the other one I decided I wanted it to be one of those like sweeping curved staircases. So I took the super thin foam, used my fingers to squishy it and bend it. See? Squishy and bend it. See? Look at it all bent and looking nice like that. And I put these little braces in between, and then I stuck the other side on there. And, I meticulously measured. No, I didn't. No, I just willy-nilly threw it together, and it turned out good enough. Okay. And this is the second staircase. It's a straight staircase. Now I'm using that thin foam as wood. Now later I go back and texture it, which I don't show you, and then paint it. Now these wires, which I just got done twisting, they're going to be the railing. They're going to be the top of the railing. I thought it would be cool, just like some twisted wires. Later I regret my decision, but you'll see. Okay, so here we are. Now we're working on the railing. We're going to get all of our posts put in place with the magic of editing. Yep, look at that. You got to make sure they're straight. And it's also very important that they're all exactly the same size, which I didn't exactly do correctly, but whatever. So we put our posts up there too. Yeah. Oh, now we're getting distracted again, and we're gonna jump over here. We're gonna Mod Podge our roof. Yeah, Mod Podge with a little bit of water. Yeah, so that it can be sturdy. Okay, so now we're moving on to that wire railing. I thought this would be easy. Okay, like the wire curves, be super easy. No. It was awful, and it was very, very difficult, and I edited all of that stuff out. So you only see what seems simple. Now we're going to paint the roof. Mod Podge has dried, so we're going to put our base layer, which of course is going to be a dark brown. And then we're going to come back, and we're just going to dab all my favorite colors. Rust. We got some rust. We got some lighter orangey rust. And then we got some turquoise. We're just going to dab all that stuff on there. Then we're going to come back and we're going to, we dabbed it with black too, which you missed that part. But now we're going to dry brush it with some light blue. And it just pulls it all together. Looks like metal sheeting roofing tin stuff. Okay, now we're working on the base. So you see I'm taking a wire brush, scratching it up. That's basically so the sculpt mold will stick to it better. Add a little water to that, and then just, start spreading it around best you can. Yeah. Look at me wearing gloves. So proud. Okay, so now I'm going to take, while it's still wet, and I'm going to squishy the trunk of my tree down. Now I'm going to add some more sculpt mold to kind of blend the base into the ground. So, it looks legit, right? Looks good. Yep. And now I'm just positioning, making sure that my platform's in the right spot. We're going to glue in our cord. And then we're going to put the foam back over it. Then we're going to cover it in more Sculptamold. Now I'm making rocks. I had some leftover Sculptamold. Normally I would use tinfoil and then cover it in Sculptamold, but whatever. This works just fine too. You do have to spend a little bit of extra time smoothing out said rocks, though. I used my clay tools to do such thing. Took a little bit of time, but I smoothed them out quite a bit. I was happy with it. Now I'm just cutting the excess off. We need some nice straight lines around the outside. And now we're going to paint with dark brown, my favorite color. We're basically going to paint the whole base like a dark brown, and we'll come back and add some dirt later. But yeah, you need a good base first in case you miss a spot. And then we're going to do a kind of a dark gray for the stones. See, here we are with the dirt. We're using Luke Towan's thing with the cup and the dirt and the nylons, pantyhose to get all the fine bits of dirt. Now I'm adding, the bigger chunks of dirt to make it look like rocks and stuff. And lots of glue. Try to be random about this, but oh, we're gluing our stairs on. Yep, officially glued the stairs on. Fantastic. Now we're going to go back and we're going to paint all of our chunks of dirt because they have now dried fully with the glue. You don't want to do that before it dries, because that would just be a mess. And then of course you got to come back and you got to dry brush everything. Make it look like stones. Make it look like rocks and stones. Look at all that. I like it. It looks great. Oh, now we're adding more posts for our railing for our staircase. And we, once again, use the pretty but god-awful to put in wire for our railing. And actually, I don't think I showed you the whole thing. But it looks great. Just trust me. It's just awful. Okay? So we use that. Yep, that's done. Moving on. All right. Foliage time. Foliage. So I I basically use all these Woodland Scenics stuff that I've been collecting over time. Some fine turf, some thicker turf, some green stuff, some leafy stuff, you name it. I use lots of glue, okay? Put my layer down, and then I start with the thicker stuff, the fluffier, bushier stuff. Yeah. I mean, I kind of wanted it to look like wild and unkempt, like like wild, like the woods. No kidding. Really? Yeah, totally. So, yeah, so that's what I'm trying to be random, which is hard, but I'm doing my very best. And then after I get everything kind of placed down, I go back over everything with alcohol first and then glue. It just, the alcohol kind of helps the glue just like seep into everything. And then it really sticks and stays. Now we're adding some moss to our roof in rando places. And yeah. Oh, vines. Right. So I had some hocus pocus vines left over. I did a hocus pocus house. And then I had some vines left over. And I thought they'd look cool. So that's what I did. Oh my. Yep. All its glory. The antler treehouse. Sorry. I am going to be quiet and let you enjoy this. All right? So I'll be back. Wow, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the making of the antler treehouse. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe or like it or like send it to your friend or whatevs. Just come back and watch more, okay? And just know that I appreciate you, okay? All right. Bye.